Hi, good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to learn the last part of our present chapter, that is compound interest. In class 7, you had learned simple interest. How can we calculate simple interest by using a formula? So this year we are studying compound interest. Actually, what is compound interest and what is simple interest? And what is the difference between these two? And you want to know that, then only you will be able to do some of the questions in our exercise. So I think it is better to revise simple interest once again. So before that, you want to know what is interest. So in our day-to-day life, or it may be in our coming future, we may face some financial crisis, some financial problems, to purchase something or for our higher studies, whatever may be. That time, you will approach some money lenders, just like banks or some financial institutions. So they are ready to give you loan with some certain conditions. You have to pay back that amount after a specific period of time. So when you give back this amount to the bank, you are giving an additional amount to that. So the extra amount that you are paying along with the money which you borrowed from the bank, that is called interest. Usually this interest is calculating in two ways, that is compound interest and simple interest. So first of all, we can see how we can calculate simple interest. So you learned one equation last year, that is simple interest equals P into R into T by 100. So here you want to know what is P, what is R and what is T. So the amount which we borrowed from the bank, that is called principal. Okay, so the amount which you borrowed from the bank or money which the bank has provided you, that is called principal. So bank will tell you, you have to pay 5% interest or 10% interest. So that is the rate of interest. R means rate of interest. And you have to pay back after 3 years, 4 years, whatever may be. The duration of that loan, that is called T, that is time period. Time period. Okay, so now you learn what is P, what is R and what is T. Okay, just imagine that you have taken 5,000 rupees from the bank. Okay, and bank told you to pay 5% interest on that, and you have to pay back after 2 years. So here P equals 5,000 and the rate of interest R equals 5% and a time duration, that T equals 2 years. So you got these three terms. So we can put this value in this equation. So here P 5,000 into 5 into T, 2 years by 100. So 2 zeros cancel, 5 2s are 10, 10 5s are 50, 500. So this is the interest that you have to pay along with this amount to the bank. So total amount you want to pay to the bank, that is amount equals principal plus interest. So that is 5,000 was the principal and 500 interest, total 5,500. So in this case, in this simple interest, we collected or we borrowed 5,000 rupees from the bank and we are paying back 5,500 after 2 years. So if this same case, if we calculate with the compound interest, this amount will change. That means this P, the principal will remain same in the case of simple interest. But what will happen in the compound interest? So first year's principal plus its interest will be next year's principal. That means the amount at the end of 1 year will be the principal of next year. So just to see the same way, if you are calculating 1 by 1 year. So here first year 5,000 into 5%, 1 year. That means divided by 100. 5 5s are 25. 250 rupees is the interest we have to pay. So 2 years, 250 plus 250, 500 we got. Okay, so first year actually we are paying 250 rupees. Okay, so in simple interest, next year also we have to pay 250. Coming years 250, 250, the same interest will be there every year, and this P also will not change. But in compound interest, what will happen? This 5000 plus 250 will be next year's principal. That is 5250 into 5 into 1. For the second year when we are calculating, this will be the condition. So here 0 cancelled. Then we have to multiply 5000 divided into 5. (2625 by 10). That equals 262.5. So here, second year, the interest will be 262.5 or 50 paise. Okay, so in simple interest, every year same interest. So first year 250, next year also 250, the total was 500. But when we calculate in compound interest, first year's 250 we will add with the principal, then we will get 5250. That will be the principal for the coming year. Then we have to calculate the interest will change. Okay, then next year again these two amount we want to add. That will be the principal for the third year. So this will vary every year. That will increase every year. So in this way, when we calculate interest, that is called compound interest. Okay, so that is the difference between these two. Okay, so here compound interest can be calculated by using one equation, that is A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to N. So first we are finding amount, then we are finding compound interest, that equals A minus P, amount minus principal. So as usual, here P equals principal and R equals rate of interest. Then N equals number of years. Okay, so if you know these three terms, we can calculate by using this equation. So we can calculate, we can find one question here. Find compound interest for rupees 8,000 for 2 years at 5% per annum. So here P, you can write P equals 8,000 and R equals 5% and N equals 2 years. Okay, so just apply this value in this equation. Amount equals P 8,000 into 1 plus 5 by 100 raised to 2. So here 8,000 into 1 plus this 5 by 100, we can cut with 5, it will become 1 by 20 raised to 2. So this 8,000, this 1 plus 1 by 20. So this 1 means the denominator is 20, that is why 20 by 20. So 20 plus 1, 21 by 20 all raised to 2. So here 8,000 into 21 by 20 into 21 by 20. Okay, so here 0, 1, 0 cancel and 0. Then 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4. So here 20 into 21 into 21. So 21 into 21, 441. Then into 2, 880. 882, then 0. So this is the total amount we have to pay back after 2 years. So here what is the compound interest? Compound interest equals amount minus principal. Amount equals 8,820. P is 8,000. So 820. This is the compound interest. So this is the way to calculate compound interest by using this equation. Okay. So I told you we can use this equation for finding compound interest. Sometimes or in some cases we have to use this equation for finding some other questions answers also. That is, in a city, the population is increasing every year with a fixed rate. So just imagine, in 2001, the population of the city was 50,000. Okay, so the rate of increase in that 5% increased. So in 2005, what is the population of that city? So this question also can be solved by using this same equation. So here this P we are considering 50,000 and 1 plus the rate of interest is the same way, the increase in population rate that can be written here. And 2001 to 2005, 4 years. So N can be 4 years. So by using the same equation, we will get an answer for this question. In 2005, what is the population of the city by using this equation? In the same way, some another type of questions. There we want to know what is depreciation. Depreciation. What is depreciation? So it is the value, deduction of the value of an asset or a decrease in the value of an asset by using it continuously. So we know that we are purchasing one bike this year and we are utilizing that, you are using that. So automatically next year its value will decrease. So the same rate you will not get. You cannot sell that what you paid for that. So every year its value, after 10 years its value become very less. So that what is happening here in the case of compound interest, every year interest is increasing or the amount is increasing. But here in the case of depreciation, the value is decreasing. So you paid 20,000 for buying a scooter or bike. So every year its depreciation rate it is given 10%. 10% it is decreasing. So after 5 years, after 5 years, what will be the value of this bike? How can we calculate? So there also we are using this same. The amount we will get after 5 years, what will be? So P into 1 plus, that means here value is decreasing, that is why it is 1 minus R by 100 raised to N. So here P is 20,000 and 1 minus rate is 10 by 100 raised to 5. So this way we can calculate the value of that vehicle after 5 years. So what is the difference here? Here value is decreasing day by day or every year value is decreasing. But in compound interest value is increasing every year. So the same equation that we used for finding the number of population, increase in population in the state or city, and for finding the depreciation or finding the value of a vehicle after 5 years. So these two questions we used the same equation, but in the case of depreciation, instead of 1 plus we use 1 minus. Okay. So next we are learning some difference in the calculation of compound interest. Some of the financial institutions, they are calculating their interest half yearly, sometimes it may be quarterly. So that is why the amount will change, the interest will change half yearly and quarterly. So the conversion period will change. So here just see the calculation of compound interest for different units of time. The first case, unit of time is half year. So they are calculating compound interest half year. So after every 6 months they will calculate the interest. So after 6 months the amount, that means the principal will change. Okay, so that is the way to calculate. Then what is the change will occur in that equation? So if it is calculated half yearly, the rate of interest. So if the rate of interest is 8%, then if you are calculating half yearly, the rate will be R by 2, that means 8 by 2, 4% only we want to calculate. Okay, because the rate is given 8% per annum, then only. If it is given half year rate, then no need to change. Usually you will get a rate per annum only. If it is given per annum, then you have to take its half. That means 4% only. Then 1 year is given, then that will be considered as 2 half years. You know that 6 months plus 6 months, 2 half years in 1 year. So 2 conversion periods are there. Then second case, unit of time is quarter. So every 3 months they are calculating compound interest. That time what will happen? The rate of interest will be divided by 4. If it is 8, then 8 by 4, that is 2. 2% only we want to calculate. So 1 year, how many quarters are there in 1 year? 4 quarters. So 4 conversion periods. So n will be changed to 4. So this is one important thing when we calculate. So we have to calculate compound interest per annum, year base and half year base and quarter base also. Okay. So let us solve one question based on this compound interest. So Suma deposited rupees 8,000 in a bank for 1.5 years. The bank gives a half yearly compounded interest at 10% per annum for the compound interest. In this question, you have to see this half yearly compounded. So we have to calculate compound interest half yearly. So here the equation is saying A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to N. So here what is P? P equals 8,000. Then what is R? R is 10% per annum. That equals R by 2 only we want to find, because if it is half year. So 10 by 2, that is 5%. Then time it is for 1.5 year. 1.5 years. That equals 1.5 into 2. There are 3 half years. We know that 1.5 means there are 3 half years. So we go to P, that is 8,000, and 1 plus R is 5 by 100, raised to N is 3. So 8,000 into 1 plus 1 by 5 by 1000 can be written 1 by 20 raised to 3. So that equals 8,000 into, so 1 plus 1 by 20. As I told you, the denominator is 20, so here 20 by 20, 20 plus 1, 21 by 20 all raised to 3. That is 8,000 into 21 by 20 into 21 by 20 into 21 by 20. So here 1, 2, 3 zeros cancelled. 2 fours are 8. 2 twos are 8. Then 2. That also cancelled. So here remaining 21 into 21 into 21. So 21 into 21, 441 into 21, 1, 4, 4, 2, 8, 8, 1, 6, 2, 9. So 9,261. This is the amount Suma will get after 1.5 years from the bank. Okay. So here we want to find the compound interest. So compound interest equals what? Amount minus principal. Amount is 9,261. P is 8,000. That equals 1,261. So this is a way of calculating compound interest. So in some questions here, calculating instead of half yearly, we are calculating per annum. Annually, we are calculating, and you are getting question 2.5 years. So number we are taking, that is instead of t is 10. Number of years we are taking 2.5 years. We cannot put here. Okay, so here it is 3 half years. That is why we got answer 3. But if it is 2.5, n equals 2.5. You cannot put the value here. You cannot find the power as a fraction. So what you want to do? You have to find first 2 years compound interest. Okay, then you will get one amount. Then next half year you have to find the simple interest for this amount. After 2 years you will get one amount that can be taken as principal and calculate next half years simple interest. Then you add that, you will get the total amount. That when you are getting questions like this, if n equals a fraction. Okay, so that is the way. So you have to practice this well and solve all questions in your exercise. Okay, do well. Bye.